All right, then let's get prepared to accompany Parvathy.
Yeah.
All right, Parvathy,
All the luck,
you
Parvathy.
can get into the vehicle.
Thank you. Thanks for joining all of you today, and thanks for sharing some time to hear my journey. So yes, it started long back, and then it is still continuing. I don't know how long, but yes, all through the journey was initially it was a lot of confusions. Then it reached to certain level of realizations. Again, it started with a lot of doubts again, then to some moments of truths, to a sense of purpose as on today, and then the journey is continuing. So that is so. This is I see myself as a traveler to Earth. Sometimes I don't feel a belongingness here. So this is my journey. I would like to take you through what I have been going through, especially my journey with Sundarji. So that is what it is all about today. Uh, through this journey, some a lot of critical things have happened. I have been to many extraordinary settings. Okay, one which everybody, all of us here are familiar is Alandurai Sundarji's place. That itself is an extraordinary setting. Apart from that, couple of others also have come up my way. Then some unique meetings with some people. Um, Really unique. A couple of them were met through Sundarji himself. He himself is one, no doubt about it. A couple of others through him. And then some people outside also were really unique or are unique. And then some uncommon experiences, not very normal. So all these gave me clues or showed me a path at one point in time or other, and that's how the journey has been progressing. And while all of that is it can be like an autobiography. Today, I want to highlight how Sundarji has been guiding me with many of his path breaking dialogues through all these years. It has been many years now that I know him, or I am associated with him. So in every situation, I have had some learning through through dialogues with him, or even through some of the silences he has deliberately made in certain situations. So all that has given some clue, or it has shown up a path whenever I was stuck, or whenever I wanted some nudge. So that is what is happening now. So I know Sundarji since 2001, okay, since my high school days, and I'm just taking you through some of the critical dialogues or some of the critical episodes that happened since 2001 until the GCF program started. Okay. Um, so first and foremost, I met him at uh, uh, in a very small setting where some of my we are part of a club. Okay, and then that club had invited him to interact with the kids there. And we all, many of my peers, everyone was there, and we were in like high school and middle school kind of kids. And we had a short interaction with him. And in that first interaction, he spoke about how many of us just use words with some common connotations rather than knowing the actual word meaning. So that point in time he was referring to concept clarity, but we just didn't register much. But then this one thought lasted my mind, that yes, many of these words I don't know the real meanings, and I started referring to dictionary that point in time very frequently. For any normally used words also, I started using dictionary. So that was a great change, and I do that even today, and it's a lot helpful. That was the first meeting. After that, he actually did a week or so training program in our school, the school where I was studying. That was after a couple of years. And that is when actually I was introduced to many of the concepts of his, and then I got to know him more closely. I got to know mantra, ameya, all those very closely, and all that settings, all that experiences were quite unique for me at that point in time. And uh, that gave me new thoughts, new ways of thinking. All that started, and it was great journey. And many of the things he told me at that point in time, to be very honest, uh, I, with my limited awareness or with my limited understanding, I grasped something, but I don't know, it was not 100% for sure. So but then I kept getting those inputs, I kept getting those new ideas. How my mind processed at that point in time, I still wonder how did it process without much awareness. But then eventually I was being that, though I didn't know much, though very frankly my understanding was very less. Many things bounced. I did not really understand what it is. And that point, and my nature also was such that I never asked, because questioning people was something which was a no in a setting where I was grown up. So many of the things I just blindly said, okay, okay. I didn't understand many things, but somewhere these were affecting me. It was it was influencing me, and I was being that slowly. Okay? And genius in self was a concept he told me way back in 2001 when I was in high school, and I just said, okay, that's it. I did not ponder, I did not think what it could be, what it can mean to me, or how it will help me, nothing. But the seed was sown into me, and that developed some point in time. And then suddenly, some realization will happen at one stage. That is what has been happening with me all through. Then another concept during that workshop in our school, we all got introduced to linkage analysis. So that was something which I could easily understand. And I did my own exercises. I did a lot of exercise on linkage analysis. Lots means lots. So he started with linkage analysis of a pen, I still remember. And then I did it on my own with umpteen number of things, and many truths started realizing, like that point in time, I suddenly I got a realization, like what the mystics used to tell, that everything is one, is actually true. Because when you start doing the linkage analysis, you go to the larger orbits, then you realize, yes, everything is connected in one way or other, right? So and at for a high school kid, that was a great moment of truth. And that linkage analysis itself brought in a lot of clarity, whether in terms of studies or in terms of understanding people. It gave a lot of clarity, and that was a lot of change for myself, for my the way I was projecting myself, the way I was behaving, the way I was connecting to people, everything changed because of this clarity that was coming from within. Then more and more interactions happened, and he actually asked me to change my signature. So I'm not sure how many of you would have done that similar exercise. That again was a tremendous exercise. Like, you sit late in the night alone, and then I'm practicing my signature, and I would have done it some more than 1,000 times, and alone, all alone. So the setting itself was very clear that I should be alone and I should do my signature. So my mental processing was happening in a very unique way, not very common for other kids of my age. And then he also introduced me to the power of attention. Again, today, whatever clarity I have on the sword and power of attention, I didn't have that kind of clarity that point in time. But yes, when he said attention, I went and understood the meaning of the word attention. I understood some linkages around it, but not much thought was given to it. But still, attention was there on my mind. I knew I have to be attentive. I have to be alert. Alertness was something he asked me. Then one unique exercise he made me do was listen to two types of voices at the same time. So it was in my home. He was there. He had come to visit us. There was the sound of an insect. In Malayalam, we say chivid. So the chivid and the sound under. And at the same time, there was some loudspeaker the other side. So he asked me to attend to both the voices at the same time, process both of them at the same time. Because if you try that, it'll be very difficult. You will be able to listen to one thing at a time, but listen with the same focus to both the voices was very, very unique. And that again, even today, I sometimes try to do that. Okay, that is a very good exercise for your mind. It gives a lot of it's like a mind yoga. And so that was one thing. And then your attention, your focus changes all of a sudden, right? So that was again one experience for me. Then again, he constantly pushed me to use the right words, ensuring correctness while conveying anything. And then, there was one another thing, because I was also a very casual child. Took many things for granted because it was there already. So I never went into the, to understand the value of it. What if it is not there? All that thoughts never occurred. But he consciously made me to stop taking anything for granted, anything. So that again was a great change in my behavior. Thanks to that. Then another exercise we did was the sound of forest. So that was an exercise again as part of the workshop in the school. We understood the different linkages of it. We understood to read what is not actually written there, read the unwritten, hear the unheard, see the unseen. So all these were new concepts for me, which I tried to put in my practice in my day-to-day life. And of course, a lot of changes normally happens with all that. If you really practice all these deliberately, things has to happen, changes have to happen, and positive changes. And then this is one technique, I would say technique. I think he has done all the research around firm, correct, complete, elegant, and Taoic, and it was like a ready-made technique that he gave to me. I just had to follow it to the T, and things would just fall in place. There was no doubt about it. And it actually works like a ready-made technique. And that was like a wonder, because when especially when you are in the high schools and teenage, you are in a lot of conflicting situations. uh, then I always used to wonder what is right, what is wrong. For somebody it is right, for somebody it is wrong, same things, right? So there is a lot of conflicts, and I used to ask him, now how do I know what is right, what is wrong? Then he used to tell me many things, and I didn't know how to actually put that into practice. He made sense in whatever he said, but I didn't know how to bring it into practice. But then this came, and this was like a um, solution for my confusion at that point in time. So whatever I do, I'll just think, I'll just reflect. Am I firm onto what I'm going to do? Am I correct? Am I complete? Elegant and Tao is something which will come after that. So firm, correct, complete was my motto, or is my motto all the time. Then I was also introduced to creature, person, entity. And then I'm not, many of you would also have may also know Ajit Basu. He was also one of our mentors in the workshop in our school. He had a critical dialoguing session with me, where he was thrusting on having an insight about yourself. So he was asking, what is your insight about me? And then at that point in time, I told something, but then of course it has evolved, it has changed. But then it made me think. That was again a lot of thought, about myself. Never done that. Nobody ever asked. I never thought about it, but that happened. Again, a lot of insight about myself was coming to myself. And then the creature, person, entity, that concept again was something which really allowed me to appreciate my body, be thankful to my body, and not to take it for granted. Again, I stopped eating or drinking junk foods or anything that can potentially harm my body since then. Till date, even in college, I never used to drink all this, soft drinks or junk foods. So I used to be a little odd one with my friends, but then I was very clear. And then thankfully, all this became a health fad, became a fashion. So people started looking at me like I was a pro then on. But I had stopped all those. Even today, I don't take any of this. And the starting point was this discussion with Sundarji sometime in the early 2000. Then nothingness was one another thing. So being blank. So as I told you, many of the things, whatever he told me, I never understood it 100%. I never went to research it. I never bothered to go deep into what that meant, to do a concept analysis or reconceptualize it. Nothing. I never did any of those things. Whatever I understood with my awareness or my understanding at that point in time, I just lived with it. But this was running on my mind for sure. And then some point in time, he asked me, what are you feeling? How are you feeling? Then I gave a thought for few seconds, and then I realized I didn't feel anything. It was blank. Then I said, I feel blank. I thought that was something not right, because I don't know. I'm just saying what I'm experiencing. And that's when he, told me about, first initially introduced me to Parabrahma Avastha, equivalent to an original mind. And so though that day it happened on its own, I did not take a deliberate effort to be to be reaching that nothingness and all, but I was getting there because of all these vibes. I was constantly interacting with him and his settings, vibes, all that. So I was being that without any effort from my end. But then after learning about it, I started consciously trying to do that. But it is then I realized it's not easy. So that effort even continues even today. It's not easy. I have not reached there. Then every now and then, when I used to feel low, I didn't know what to do. I used to ring him up, and then a couple of times he has asked me one question: "Are you in tune?" So I did not understand much. What is he asking? Are you in tune? Then I found out my own answers. Maybe it is, are you in tune with my creature? My creature person entity tuning is what I understood. Then I realized this is what he may be asking. Are you in tune? Then that was as Vinay said, whatever he says will ring in your mind whenever you are in confusion, when you're in trouble. So this keeps coming every now and then. Are you in tune? And then again, introduction of double. Again, double was not a concept that I knew, neither have I experienced. But then at the age of 17, I actually gave a training. Okay, I I was so inspired by Sundarji, his training programs. I used to be part of a couple of his training programs outside also. I have been part of it. I have done nothing. I may collect papers, I may distribute papers. That's all. But I was there. Half the things did not understand, but things were getting imbibed. And at the age of 17, it so happened somebody asked my father to give a training. He is into marketing and all that, so he was going to give a training, and he asked me also to join him, that I can also train them for like 3 hours or something. And these were teachers, the teachers who are getting trained to be teachers. So that was the set of people, and I was just in my 12th standard. 3 hours, and I just went ahead. I was with so limited awareness. When I look back, I think I feel I get a shiver when I think about it now. But that point in time, it just happened. I gave a training for 3 hours, and it had tangible results. I didn't ask for any money. They gave me money. Then they said they liked it. All of them sat there. No, but it was an open session. If they wanted to go, they could go. Like, there were close to 20 people, and everybody sat through the session. Nobody went out or had any humiliating experience. So it all happened, and I didn't know how it happened. And later, and I went to meet Sundarji after this, and I said this happened, and then he told me about double. I said I didn't know how all this happened, but it happened. And my lecture also went flawless. I mean, I wouldn't say lecture, but I also gave some exercises and all. I was just imitating Sundarji, to be very honest, and but that went very well. Uh, it showed tangible results also. And then I went and told him when this happened, and he spoke about double. Again, didn't understand, but then I accepted. Okay, double. But it happened many years later. The concept of double also started making sense to me. After some 2-3 years, it also started making sense. It became clear. So then he moved from Kerala to Bangalore, and I was so dependent on him that I couldn't imagine that he'll be away. I can't meet him. It was very painful. Then he made a dialogue. You have enough fuel for another 15 years. I still remember that. And exactly after 15 years, I think I ran out of fuel also. I'll come to that later.